When you download the iHeartRadio app and put the WD and Shook Show on your list of stations, you will prove to the world that you're a little bit smarter than everyone else. The WD and Shook Show, your connection to the signs of the times.
Now, you have a source for the truth in the news. W. Dean Shook, End Time News. Your connection to the signs of the times.
And welcome to this edition of End Time News. I am your humbled host, W. Dean Shook. Thank you for being here. I want to check the condition not only of America, but around the world. You know, this immigration problem is not exclusive to America. And we're going to move right down the line of some different subjects. I'm just going to throw out a few headlines of each one, and then we're going to talk about this at the end of this update. Here's the first one. Illegal immigration from North Africa is dramatic and unsustainable. And here's how this reads. Landings of thousands of illegal immigrants from North Africa are becoming dramatic and unsustainable. Italy and Malta say they've been forgotten by the rest of Europe amid a flood of immigrants. New figures reveal UK illegal immigration is out of control. Just 1 in 70 suspected illegal immigrants is arrested, according to new government data. Home Office figures reveal that 28,000 suspected illegal migrants were detained in the past 2 years, despite estimates of the total number of people there without permission being as high as 2 million. Well, according to an expert, the border crisis will only get worse for us in the past 48 hours. Thousands of illegal immigrants from Central America have descended upon U.S. cities all along the southwestern border after being apprehended in Texas. This past weekend, El Paso Times reported that 2 flights carrying 130 people landed in El Paso, Texas, for immigration processing in different parts of the city. The Arizona Republic reported that by the end of the weekend, more than 1,000 children were expected to fill a makeshift detention center in Nogales, Arizona. Around the world, illegal immigration is out of control. We're becoming a world without borders. No one seems to be stepping in to protect their own sovereignty. So what's this result going to be? Is this going to be a world without borders? Is this going to be something that requires global governance? Is this the stepping stone into the New World Order? Here's another headline that says, underage kids flooding across the border, flagging down Border Patrol to gain entry into the U.S. How about our faith? In 20 states, Islam is the largest non-Christian faith. And here's another one. A plot to radicalize students to Islam has been exposed. 21 schools allegedly infiltrated by Islamic extremists. Here's another one from the UK. Books promoting stoning, lashing, loving death more than life. Found at an Islamic elementary school. Books were found at the Islamic Olive Tree Primary School in Luton, England, suggesting that stoning and lashing individuals were proper punishment for misbehavior, according to the UK government investigation. Well, let's speak about our kids. It seems that there's a secret summer camp that trains boys ages 3 to 8 to be transgenders. What does that mean? That means they dress them up in girls' clothes and have them walk the catwalk in girls' clothes. You can take that for whatever it's worth. What about in Brazil? Well, it seems that Brazil's child sex workers are forced to cash in on the World Cup. Brazilian kids as young as 10 are being forced to sell themselves for sex on the streets to cash in on the hundreds of thousands of soccer fans heading to the World Cup. As soccer fans descended on Brazil to the tournament this week, evil pimps are exploiting young children who are hopelessly addicted to crack cocaine. And it's not just confined to one city. Child prostitution is at epidemic levels across the entire country. Young girls and boys, high after sniffing glue, openly sell themselves for sex on street corners in the city of Recife, which will host 5 matches for as little as $4, the investigation report claims. It also says the problem is not just confined to Recife. Child prostitution is epidemic across the entire country. And it seems that pedophiles raid social networks for children in family photos. The photos taken by parents are being uploaded to a Russian website for perverts to leer at and make vile comments about. Other images on the photo sharing site, which I'm not going to give, have been taken suspiciously by perverts. They include images of children playing on beach in Britain and at a petting farm. This sinister practice is legal as the photos are not deemed indecent, even though the comments under these photos show they're being used for sexual gratification. And how about this epidemic of abortion? There was a girl, 13 years old, forced to get an abortion against her wishes. It seems to me if a 13-year-old girl is pregnant, somebody should be pressing some sort of charges. Somebody needs to be arrested here. But apparently that didn't even come up. Today there are 1.4 million abortions a year in America. In China there are 3 times that amount of forced abortions. We are killing more kids in a 2-year period than all of the lives that were lost in World War I and World War II combined. This is a genocide, a worldwide genocide. And people protest and say it's their right to kill their unborn children. Last year, there were 1.4 million abortions in America. Think about that number. Almost 1.5 million innocent lives lost on the streets of America last year alone. So how is it that the American people get angry and protest when a drone strike in Afghanistan kills 50 or 75 innocent bystanders, but never make a sound when this American genocide kills 1.5 million American kids? How can the American government and healthcare providers who take a Hippocratic oath to do no harm allow a genocide of this magnitude to wipe out innocent American lives right here in our own homeland? Has the hypocrisy of the human race got so numb that we can't even see what's going on in our own house? They say killing people with drone strikes are animated. You're not face to face with your enemy. It's like a video game. Does it make it okay that innocent bystanders are killed by our government who says, oops, sorry? Yet when Americans kill their own children, they don't even say that. Instead, they say, it's our right. Gender-based abortions, wrong hair color, wrong eye color. We weren't ready for this right now. Maybe next year. Well, maybe next year they'll be able to shop the human grocery store and see if they can come up with something they are ready for. In the meantime, people go right back to the unprotected sex, the hookups, one-night stands, the flings, and the attitude is, it's okay if we have an accident. We'll just get an abortion. Well, the day is coming when each of us will have to stand before a sovereign God and give an account for our lives, an account for the decisions that we've made in life. Are you one who will hang your head and have to admit that you were part of this massive genocide? Or will you be one who says, I knew about it, but did nothing? Stop this massive, continual genocide called abortion. Save an innocent life. For God's sake, save your own life. Well, what will you do when you can no longer buy or sell without submitting to biometric identification? Right now, you can go through your day buying and selling without ever having cash in your pocket. And very, very soon, you'll have to have a fingerprint or iris scan to access accounts, buy in the grocery store, get a driver's license, or punch in at work. Fingerprint or iris scan, that's scanning your hand or your forehead. Take that for what it's worth. And what about all of the strange murders? There's 2 12-year-old Wisconsin girls allegedly stabbed their friend 19 times to honor Slender Man. There was a Cincinnati mom who told WLWT she thinks her daughter may have been inspired by Slender Man when she attacked her with a knife in their kitchen wearing a hood and a white mask. Just in the last week, we've had 3 separate shootings. On Thursday, at Seattle Pacific University was attacked by a lone gunman who killed 1 person and injured 3 others. On Sunday, just a few days ago, a man and wife team shoots 2 Las Vegas police officers eating lunch, then went to a Walmart where they shot another man and then committed suicide in the Walmart. Today, in a suburb of Portland, Oregon, there was a school shooting at Reynolds High School. 1 student killed and a gym teacher injured. The gunman took his own life in a boy's bathroom. I want to use this for an example. The answer for most people for all of these shootings seems to be to ban guns. Well, let me give you an example here. If you had a loved one who got sick, let's say they couldn't hold food down, they were losing weight, had a high fever. You take them to the doctor. Doctor says, this will settle your stomach, this will get rid of the high fever. Go ahead and go home, you're fine. 6 weeks later, 2 months later, that loved one dies. Well, why did the loved one die when the doctor said they were fine? Because all this doctor did was treat the symptoms. He didn't treat the root cause. That root cause continued to fester. And as it festered, even though they were treating some of the symptoms, the root cause was still hard at work. When we say we want to ban guns, we're treating a symptom. We're not treating a root cause. The root cause is our morals, our values, and our integrity have not only changed, but in a lot of ways have disappeared. The values that we held 50 years ago are gone. 50 years ago, most Americans, almost 90%, claim to have a relationship with God. This is where they got their morals, their values, their integrity, their honesty. It's what made America what it is. Today, the lack of that seems to have America going the way of Sodom and Gomorrah. Universal gay marriage. The right to kill your own unborn children. It's the lack of that relationship with God, reading and understanding our instruction manual for life, which is the Bible, and doing things on our own. When you don't follow the instruction manual, your product doesn't work. You can't do things on your own without reading the instructions. If you don't follow the instructions, it doesn't work. My friends, the teachings of our Christ, Jesus, is the instruction manuals for life. In 2014, we have a divorce rate of 69%. Why is our divorce rate so high? Because people are getting married for the wrong reasons, and they're doing it the wrong way. Go back to the biblical values. Go back to the instruction manual that tells you how to get and sustain a successful marriage. And this statistic of 69% would drop like a rock. But people don't do that. They think they know better. What was good is evil, and what was evil is good. The United States has become a place where anything goes. Most Americans are okay with that. No matter which side of the culture war that you're on, you have to admit that our culture is being fundamentally transformed. In fact, new numbers from Gallup confirm there's been a colossal shift in America's moral values just since 2001. Over the past 13 years, we have become a dramatically different country. Many of the things that used to be considered evil are now considered to be good, and many of the things used to be considered good are now considered to be evil. In other words, our culture is literally being turned upside down. The values that our national leaders speak of today are very different from the values that most of us grew up with. Now, unless we have a huge revival, I can't see that people who are loving the evil ever turning around. But you can. You can have a relationship with Jesus Christ. Embrace his values. Embrace his integrity. Embrace his teachings. Read your instruction manual and follow it, and life will work. If life is not working, you're not following the instruction manual. Food for thought, my friends. Thank you for joining me. I'm your host, W. Dean Shook. You can email me at contact@wdeanshook.com. Come to the website, visit our sponsors at wdeanshook.com, and I'll see you on our next program. Thank you.
You can get these full stories and more at wdeanshook.com. That's wdeanshook.com.